Ghost on a boxing. I wanted to talk a little bit about something that struck me at the weekend, because, as you know, there was this Tommy Fury KSI thing on, and a lot of the people that I hang with and talk to are, for want of a better phrase, hardcore boxing fans. They love the real thing. They're not interested. Influencers, they're mostly older people. And they were saying, oh, there's no boxing on. There's no boxing on at the weekend. Well, actually, there was boxing. This is something I've heard from a lot of people, who subscribe to this channel as well. There was no boxing on at the weekend. There was real, quote unquote, real boxing. There was. Because you had the Tim Tszyu fight, okay, over in Australia against Brian Mendoza, which was a terrific fight. Tim Tszyu really showed something. Mendoza showed, he lost the fight, but he showed an awful lot of guts. Will to win, gone all that way, not to lose, but to give the best possible account of himself. Great fight, really enjoyed it. And then you've got, you had Zanibek Alamhalune fighting Gualtieri in a unification fight at middleweight. Now we know the middleweight division is kind of barren at the moment, but it's still a pretty, it's a glamour division, and it'll be good to see if it can resurrect itself. It will. These things go in cycles. But Alim Hanule, if that's how you pronounce it, he dominated Galtieri, stopped him, and that's a unification. And you also had Miguel Burchelt looking revitalised. There was a card from Mexico. It was Belchert was the headliner. But that whole card from Mexico, which was on DAZN and promoted by Oscar de la Hoya, I mean, that was a really good card, So it sort of struck me, and like I say, a lot of the people I talk to are hardcore fans. It sort of struck me, well, are people being too sort of parochial minded? Are they only looking, as far as the end of their garden? Are they not looking at the world in general? Because when you consider, if you're a real boxing fan, I mean, I love watching, boxing, good quality boxing. I love watching even matchups, even if it's low quality. If it's a small hall thing and they're evenly matched, I'll watch that. A couple of undefeated kids or whatever. There was one of those fights on the undercard of the Mexican card, the Burchelt fight. Real good. A couple of Mexican prospects fighting each other. It's really good. So, if you like that stuff, surely you're going to look beyond the end, beyond your garden gate, sort of out into the bigger world, because there is plenty of boxing out there. And it struck me that most people don't seem interested, for whatever reason, in looking at the international scene. And yet the international scene has so many hidden gems. So I'm curious to know, why is this? Why do people only stick to the domestic stuff? When I say domestic, I mean world title fights in the UK, like Wood versus Warrington, for example. I mean, that was a very good fight, extremely good fight. But Wood was stopped 2 fights ago against Maurizio Lara. Warrington had won only one of his previous 4, I think, was it? Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so basically the question is, getting back to the original point of this video, is, why are people stuck in that mindset? Is it just a sort of blind spot? Because let's say you subscribe to DAZN, you can watch a card that's on at 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning when you get up on a Sunday. I know people have got other things to do. Not everyone's like me, obsessed with boxing, but people got families and kids and all that. But you would have thought that. That's not quite the that early morning start, having to do the graveyard shift, is not necessarily the problem it was back in the day. Because even if I don't buy pay-per-views, but I'm told that if you buy a pay-per-view, you can re-watch it. And it's the same if you subscribe to Sky, you can watch their product, not live, but you can watch it later. Well, what's the problem then? If you're a boxing fan, I would say watch these fights. And I'm convinced, I may be wrong, but I'm convinced that a lot of this is that people just don't notice there are other cards going on across the world. And they're brilliant, some of them. They're really, really good, So no, to get back to my original point, at the weekend, it wasn't all about KSI, Tommy Fury, and one of the Paul brothers. No, no, no. That was a circus act. But there was a lot of really good boxing on. And my advice to anyone who is of the mindset where they sort of think, oh yeah, I forgot about the international scene. Oh really? Like very often I'll say, did you watch Miguel Burchell? I mean, he looked revitalised. And they're like, these are people who know who Miguel Burchell is, and they're like, oh no, I didn't know he was fighting. Or Tim Tszyu. Even as big as a name as Tim Tszyu is in Australia, internationally, his name is still growing. A few people said they know who he is. They go, oh, did he fight at the weekend? I was like, yeah, it was a terrific fight. You should have watched it. Anyway, I've gone on probably for too long, but you tell me, what do you think? It's a blind spot? Do you think it's just people have this mentality where they can't they just forget? Have they got too much going on in their life? I mean, you tell me. Anyway, leave your comments below. Tell me what you think. And obviously, if you're new to the channel, you could subscribe. That'd be fantastic. Leave your comments below. Hit the like button as well. I'm looking forward to reading what you got to say, and I'll catch you later. Bye for now.